Welcome to r/off my chest, where OP catfishes his own father. Our next Reddit post is from Interesting Gap. I've been catfishing my own grieving father for 2 years, and it's the only thing keeping him alive. I feel sick even typing this out. And I know how insane and predatory the title sounds, but I have nobody else to tell. My mom passed away 3 years ago after 40 years of marriage to my dad. They were that soulmate couple everyone hated because they were so perfect. When she died, my dad didn't just grieve, he just stopped. He stopped eating, stopped going to the woodworking shop, and just sat in his recliner staring at the wall. I tried everything. Therapy, grief groups, staying with him, nothing worked. He told me point blank that he was just waiting to join her. About 2 months ago, in a moment of total desperation, I did something I regret every single day. I knew that my mom used to play this obscure online word strategy game. She had a group of internet friends that she played with for a decade. I logged into her old iPad, found her account, and saw a message from a guy she used to play with just a friendly, "Hope you're doing well" note. I didn't reply as her, but I realized that my dad still checked her iPad sometimes just to look at her photos. So I created a fake profile of an old friend from her hometown, someone she hadn't talked to in years. I messaged my dad's Facebook account, pretending I just heard the news and wanted to share some old memories of her. It was supposed to be a one-time thing, just a bit of comfort, but he replied. He replied with 3 paragraphs of memories. He sounded more alive in those messages than he had been in months, so I kept it going. I used the stories my mom told me when growing up to make this friend feel real. For 2 years now, I've been Sarah, his digital pen pal. We talk every single night. I've encouraged him, through Sarah, to start eating again, to go back to his shop, and even to start volunteering at the library. He tells Sarah things that he won't tell me, how much he misses my mom's cooking, how he's scared of getting old, and how Sarah is the only thing he looks forward to. The guilt is eating me alive. I'm basically gaslighting my own father into being happy. I've had to invent a whole life for this woman. She's a widow, she lives in a small town in Oregon, she has a dog. Last month, he asked if he could fly out to see her. I had to make up a lie about Sarah having a health scare just to keep him away. He spent 3 days praying for her. I watched my dad cry in his kitchen over a woman who doesn't exist, while I was the one who sent the message that caused the tears. I've created a monster. If I tell him the truth, I don't just lose his trust, I kill the only person he's felt a connection with in years. I'm terrified that the shock would actually kill him. But I can't keep being 2 people. Every time he tells me about his wonderful friend Sarah over Sunday dinner, I have to look him in the eye and pretend that I'm happy for him. I'm a horrible person, but I don't know how to stop without breaking his heart all over again. Yo, this is way above my pay grade. OP, Sarah needs to either die or get married or come out as a lesbian immediately. Otherwise, you're about to get pictures of your dad's nether regions that I'm sure you don't want to see. I don't know what to do in the situation. This is really messed up. I understand that your heart is like in the right place, kind of, but you created a monster, OP, and you need to kill it before it completely grows out of control. It kind of already has. Our next Reddit post is from Burner Account. My husband spent over $3,000 on World Cup tickets. We cannot afford this, and I'm furious. My husband bought 3 tickets for the World Cup, and each one cost over $1,000. I've been furious since I found out. We absolutely cannot afford this, and my husband knows it, but he still bought them. I have found out that he entered the most recent lottery to get tickets. I've since also found out that it was different from the previous lotteries. Instead of going online and buying tickets right when they went on sale, you had to submit a list of which games you wanted tickets for. And if you won the lottery, your credit card would automatically get charged. Our credit card was charged on Monday, and normally I get an alert whenever our card is used, but my husband deleted it from my phone before I saw it. I didn't see the charge until 2 days later, and I thought that our card was compromised. I found out what the charge was, and I was still going to dispute it because we absolutely can't afford it. But my husband already paid it and confirmed he made that purchase. He took money from our emergency account. We have less than $100 in our emergency account now. Our emergency fund was low already because 2.5 years ago, my husband lost his job and he was out of work for a year. We had to dip into our emergency savings a bunch of times while he was unemployed. He knows what our financial situation is like, and I can't believe he did this. If I didn't have some overtime shifts scheduled over the next 2 weeks, we would not be able to afford our next mortgage payments. I'm furious, and he says I'm overreacting. He says he's taking his dad and brother to the World Cup because they have both of their birthdays the same week as the game. But that doesn't mean that we can afford to spend over $3,000. My husband said at least the tickets don't cost $1,500 each, and he also dropped a bomb on me. He applied for tickets to every game that's being played in our city. And if he had won all the games instead of just one, the total cost would have been over $12,000. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I asked my husband where we would have gotten that kind of money, and he just said, "We'll figure it out." He tried telling me that Canada has a huge demand for World Cup tickets, so that's why it costs him over $1,000 per ticket. As if that's an explanation for what he did. I can't even explain how furious I am. We've been going to marriage counseling because of how strained things got after my husband got fired. But that's not going to cut it anymore. I've always been the breadwinner in our marriage, and that's never bothered me. But now, this stupid decision he made is the last straw. I tried to make it work, but I can't anymore. I'm going to get my ducks in a row and talk to a lawyer before I do anything with our finances. Then I'm done with him. He thinks I'm overreacting and that all of this is a big joke. I'm done. Yo, so OP is working and making all the money, and the husband basically steals it, in my opinion it counts as stealing, to buy these tickets. This is, I don't know what you want to call it, financial infidelity, financial abuse, whatever you want to call it, it's definitely just plain wrong. Our next Reddit post is from Substantial Yak. I just inherited $12 million. I'm a 34-year-old man, and for the last 12 years, I've been caregiving for my parents, starting almost immediately after university. It was a full-time job immediately, but it very quickly became a 24-hour job. I've never had an actual career, so it was so time-consuming I lost contact with all my friends. For the last 4.5 years, even with assisting caregivers, their dementia caused aggression and massive behavioral issues if I wasn't present and actively calming them down. They've passed, and I'm thankful they no longer have to suffer, but I've been left completely lost. My adult life has been dedicated to caregiving for someone else. I've not lived my own life. I've had no actual jobs, let alone career. I've never had a girlfriend. I haven't spoken to friends in nearly half a decade. And I don't know if any of them would even remember me anymore. I've never traveled. I've never lived. I've been suicidal for the past 3 years. If I didn't have someone who relied on me, I'd have been long dead. Paradoxically, I suppose, because I doubt I'd feel like a husk of a human if I wasn't caregiving. I feel so guilty because I know people are struggling to survive, let alone do well. I know people would kill for a quarter of what I've gotten, but I just want to give it all away and die already. There are paths I always wanted to try. Things that when my parent got sick, I was going to do. I always wanted to be a filmmaker. I had so many ideas for movies. But I've been too depressed and too avoidant to even watch a movie in the last 3 years, let alone create anything myself. I've been left as a person who basically doesn't know how to live. I can't figure out stuff for myself, or if I can, I'm now too terrified to try. Mistakes I should have been figuring out with everyone else over a decade ago, I'm too scared to make as I'm near middle-aged. Hell, I don't know the first thing about finances. I don't even know what to do with my inheritance. I'm sorry for the poorly written random thoughts. It's starting to hit me how little there is for me in my life, even as I've inherited so much. I can tell you one thing for sure, ignore every single DM you get, because they're all people just after your money, whatever they say. Secondly, just relax, dude. You have enough money you can do pretty much anything for the rest of your life. You can just buy a house and just chill and watch Netflix until you die. Or you could travel the world or, just do whatever. I can tell you one thing I would not do is tell literally anyone, I guess with the exception of strangers on the internet who don't know your real identity, that you have this much money. So yeah, I know it feels overwhelming, but on the bright side, OP, you have literally the rest of your life to figure it out. Maybe start with vacation or therapy. Our next Reddit post is from Guilty Noise. My dad left everything in his will to my brother after I took care of him alone for 6 years, and I'm effing mad. For 6 damn years, I put my life on hold for my dad. I truly loved him. This isn't just about money. I thought that he was my best friend. 6 years ago, my parents got into a devastating car accident where my mom died and my dad got paralyzed from the neck down. Back then, I was 22 and fresh out of college, while my only brother was 33 and married with 3 kids. At first, we had a home nurse with Dad, but after an incident, he didn't trust them anymore, and they wanted me to take care of him. And he would provide for me, so I accepted because I loved him and I felt bad. 6 whole years of basically no life of my own to take care of him. Sometimes my brother and sister-in-law would come give me breaks so I could have some personal time. But they would always make me feel like they're doing me this huge favor. A few weeks ago, Dad had a stroke and he died in his sleep, which was so devastating to me. But just days later, I found out he literally left everything to my older brother except some sentimental stuff to me. His reasoning? He's provided for me for the last 6 years, and my brother needed it more because he has a family and kids to support. My brother is refusing to share anything with me, and I can't contest the will because I did receive stuff. I am so frustrated and upset right now. I've spent my entire 20s stuck at home caring for my dad, taking him to the shower and bathroom and all the soul-crushing stuff that comes with caregiving, and he just betrayed me like that. He also left the house to my brother, who's kicking me out in a week and a half, and I literally have no place to go. I have no work experience, and I can't even find minimum wage jobs. I've applied to over 60 places now, and nothing. I loved Dad, but right now I'm so effing mad and angry at him. He effed up my entire life, twice now. I regret ever agreeing to be his caretaker. Down in the comments, we have this story from Nest Krob. My wife is going through something like this. Her mom has lived with us full-time for 7 years, even though she still has a house. A little while ago, my wife's mom asked her kids if there was anything that they would like from her house. My wife picked a painting, and the other kids picked what they wanted. It turns out, her brother said that he would like the house. So she gave it to him, saying that all the kids had their pick, and he picked the house. Hold on, OP. This happened and the mom is still living with you guys? Huh? Our next Reddit post is from Disastrous Store. I wanted to get this off my chest because it's been sitting with me for a while. I'm an Uber driver, and I recently picked up a Sikh family. A husband who wore a turban and his wife and their daughter. From the moment I picked them up, we chatted non-stop in the car, and the dad was just bursting with life. Super funny, talkative, and full of energy in the best way. I dropped them outside their house. I was awestruck. A literal 20-bedroom mansion with electric gates and a massive driveway into their house. I was shocked because they never sounded pretentious or arrogant during the journey, which is why the house struck me. I've driven loads of people who were clearly well off, and a lot of those interactions felt sometimes awkward, rude, distant, uncomfortable, or cold. I feel like most rich people treat me as someone inferior. Anyway, I was invited into their home. The dad insisted that we have tea and snacks. I've never ever entered or went into a customer's house, but a part of me wanted to. Best choice of my life. I didn't realize how much that experience would change the way I think. I'll be honest, before this, I knew very little about the Sikh community. Like most people, I probably carried some prejudices without even meaning to. From the moment I arrived, all of that fell apart. They were some of the most genuinely kind, warm, and welcoming people I've ever met. Not only was his family stunning and beautiful, they showed me great hospitality. Food kept coming, and I've never tasted such great tea and snacks before. I cannot believe they would show kindness to someone like me, a random stranger. These are people opening their home and treating me with generosity, like it was the most natural thing in the world. I've never even gotten this treatment from my own parents, haha. I left feeling grateful and a little humbled. It made me realize how dangerous it is to carry prejudices and how wonderful Sikhs are. That was r / off my chest, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit episodes every single day.